Nuruddin Jebnoun is the professor at the Center for Contemporary Arab Studies and School of Foreign Service at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. This no-fly zone, all necessary measures to protect civilians. What does this actually mean on the ground in Libya?
Means the use of force and airstrike force, the capability of jamming his command, control, communication and intelligence system. It's also using human intelligence on the ground to lead like those airstrike operations.
And how is that exactly going to be implemented?
Look, I think in the case of NATO, as well as in the case of France and Great Britain, we have already contingency plans already done, and just they're prepared and just they need to be implemented. The parallel between the case of Libya and Serbia, I think it's not like a good parallel, because at this time in the 90s, President Milosevic had used like the geography of his country, and he had at this time disseminated anti-artillery aircraft, which very sophisticated and very disseminated across the whole country, which is not the case of Libya. In Libya, you have a very obsolete anti-artillery aircraft, and I think aircraft like F-16, Rafale, or Hornet will be able and will be easily able to handle those anti-artillery aircraft.
But is it not worth just taking a moment to consider Germany's hesitations over this, its concerns over a massive loss of civilian life and indeed prolong military involvement in Libya?
I think for Germany, we should take into consideration the history of Germany. Germany was involved in two world wars, the first one and the second war, And remember, in the 1990, during the war of liberation of Kuwait, and then in 2003, during the war on Iraq, Germany expressed a very strong reservation regarding those wars, because the constitution of Germany doesn't allow the deployment of German armed forces abroad. So I think this is the main reason.
What do you think Gaddafi's next move is going to be now?
So here we should take into consideration a different scenario. I think when the NATO or France or Great Britain start like plumbing his, his troops on the ground, and especially his armored battalion and his heavy artillery, we should expect like within the next days or even weeks, more defection from his troops, the moral collapse of his troops, and like the most predictable scenario will be like a coup against him, or a kind of civil war against him, or a coup from his inner circle. So we should take into consideration, and such military action against Gaddafi's troop on the ground will have a kind of negative impact on the cohesion of his troops, and then we should expect like a kind of rebellion against him coming from his troops.
Okay, Nuruddin Jebnoun, thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts there from Washington. Now, at least 25 people have